The fall of Reach is finally about to begin. Can Master Chief lead humanity to glory? What conspiracy is Catherine brewing? Let's dive into the plot. After returning the keystone from the Covenant's sacred star, Master Chief fell into a coma due to severe injuries. Luckily, with advanced human technology, Master Chief recovered after 6 months of treatment, but as soon as he woke up, he was met with some unfortunate news. Due to Dr. Catherine's betrayal, the trustworthiness of the Spartan squad had plummeted to its lowest point. The Council deemed the Spartan squad an unstable factor, and Cortana's AI project was forcibly terminated. While Master Chief felt helpless, the squad's situation was equally dismal. The once heroic squad had been reduced to a logistical unit, now only tasked with escort missions. Though frustrated, Master Chief had no grounds to argue. Upon Master Chief's recovery, the Spartan squad received a new mission. A Covenant fleet had appeared at a frontier colony, and the Alliance requested the Spartans to assist with the evacuation. Following orders, Master Chief immediately led the squad to the target star system. However, when they arrived, the army was already organizing the evacuation, leaving the Spartans to merely maintain order as backup. The mundane task left the team feeling disheartened, but then an unexpected incident occurred midway through the evacuation. The unit occupying the high ground suddenly sent out a distress signal and then lost contact. Master Chief, sensing an attack, quickly rushed to the hilltop. When he arrived, only a few communication vehicles were left in the clearing, and the unit in charge had vanished. As Master Chief approached to investigate, several gunshots suddenly echoed through the thick fog. Master Chief shouted to halt the fire, realizing they had mistaken the target. When he questioned the soldiers, they reported that the communications post had experienced electromagnetic interference and strange shadows had appeared in the fog. The soldier thought it was a trick of the eyes, but before he could finish speaking, he disappeared before everyone's eyes. Seeing the shifting shadows in the fog, Master Chief immediately realized that the squad had likely been ambushed by Covenant soldiers. He ordered everyone to regroup and stay alert, but the soldiers didn't heed Master Chief's command and instead scattered. The result was predictable. The scattered soldiers were quickly taken down, leaving only one female soldier who had stayed close to Master Chief. Just as Master Chief called for backup, a shadow suddenly darted out of the fog. Master Chief focused and saw that it was a Covenant elite soldier. Thankfully, he reacted quickly, taking down the enemy with a swift counterattack. But before he could catch his breath, more soldiers appeared. Surrounded, Master Chief struggled to fend them off. However, he quickly adapted, using the terrain to outmaneuver the enemies. After a few minutes of fierce combat, he eliminated the attackers. Near a pile of rocks, he found the injured female soldier, but just as Master Chief prepared to evacuate with the soldier, more enemies emerged from the fog this time. They were stronger, likely Covenant elites. As Master Chief braced for battle, the enemies suddenly lowered their weapons. Through the mist, Master Chief vaguely saw a familiar figure. Though it was far away, he could still feel that it was the missing Maquis. Just as Master Chief was about to speak, the surrounding enemies abruptly retreated, and several blinding beams of light appeared in the sky. This is a Covenant long-range weapon capable of glassing a planet in an instant. Master Chief hurriedly carried the injured female soldier down the mountain. The situation below had already descended into chaos. Some evacuation ships were shot down just after takeoff, turning into wreckage in an instant. On the way to safety, Master Chief encountered a group of locals, led by a high priest who spoke some cryptic words to him. Seeing that the locals were unwilling to leave, Master Chief didn't force them. He took the injured female soldier and boarded the last evacuation ship. This was the 5th colony planet destroyed by the Covenant in recent months. The renewed Covenant assault made Master Chief uneasy. He suspected that the enemy was preparing for a large-scale invasion. Back at the base, Master Chief shared his concerns with his superior, Captain. The captain also sensed the threat and was about to report it up the chain of command. However, a middle-aged man named James suddenly interrupted the meeting. James was the new superior of the Spartan squad. The team members initially thought the council was finally paying attention to them, but James' words quickly dashed their hopes. It turned out the council still viewed the Spartan squad as an unstable factor and intended to diminish their presence. Moreover, James was biased against the Spartans, forbidding any unauthorized actions. Otherwise, the team wouldn't even be assigned evacuation missions. To make matters worse, despite Master Chief's victory over the enemy, it was the injured female soldier who received the recognition, including a cross medal. The council's actions infuriated Master Chief, not because of personal grievance, but because he feared the soldiers would underestimate the enemy. However, His protests were seen as a threat by James, leading to a heated argument in the corridor. With no other choice, Master Chief sought out the former commander, Admiral, who had been forced into retirement due to Dr. Catherine's betrayal. Master Chief shared his suspicions with the Admiral, hoping she could speak on his behalf, but the Admiral admitted she was powerless, advising Master Chief to closely monitor the Covenant's movements. She promised to notify the higher-ups if necessary, but whether they would take action was beyond her control. The Admiral's response left Master Chief feeling helpless. It seemed that the Spartan squad was being thoroughly marginalized. While Master Chief was troubled, Soren was also facing difficulties. He was arrested by the Alliance while searching for Dr. Catherine. The news of Soren's capture reached Kwana, but she was also struggling, being hunted by numerous trackers. To evade capture, Kwana had to disguise herself as a slave, constantly on the run. Due to James' suppression, the presence of the Spartan squad within the Alliance was further diminished. As Master Chief dealt with these frustrations, he discovered another troubling issue. Several team members hadn't returned from their last mission, and their name tags had been removed by the staff, a sign that they were presumed dead. Yet Master Chief had received no such news. Enraged, he confronted James, only to be mocked. James taunted him, questioning how he would know why the Covenant soldiers had retreated. To prove his innocence, Master Chief sought out the female soldier, hoping she could explain on his behalf, but she refused, feeling guilty about Master Chief's situation, though her superiors wouldn't listen to her. Realizing that the Council was deliberately targeting the Spartan squad, Master Chief became even more determined. Meanwhile, James wasn't idle either. He tried to get the other team members to denounce Master Chief. James offered to promote anyone who could report any misconduct by Master Chief during missions. However, James underestimated the team's loyalty. Instead of betraying Master Chief, they mocked James. Frustrated, James turned to Cortana, asking her to analyze the recent movements of the Covenant. After running the analysis, Cortana discovered that there was a 97% probability that the Covenant would attack Reach, and the chances of winning were 0. Strangely, James didn't report this. Upon his return, Master Chief received the news immediately. Instead of confronting James, Master Chief gathered his team under the guise of a training exercise. A few weeks earlier, a relay station on Reach had been attacked. The team sent to assist had gone missing. Master Chief suspected that the team might be trapped at the station, which was not far away. So, using the pretense of training, he led the team to the station. After days of travel, they arrived at the target star system, but just as the team was about to enter the base to investigate, the army suddenly arrived. For acting without orders, Master Chief and his team were arrested. Back at the base, Master Chief was reprimanded by the captain, even though he repeatedly explained that he was only trying to rescue his teammates. The captain informed him that the missing team had never gone to the relay station. Realizing he had been set up, Master Chief immediately suspected that someone had altered the flight records of his team. He quickly suspected James, but by then, he no longer had the authority to meet with the commander. The captain stripped Master Chief of his rank and ordered him to undergo treatment at the medical center. The increasingly bizarre behavior of his superiors left Master Chief feeling that something was very wrong. On his way to the medical center, an angry Master Chief knocked out the guards and escaped. As it turned out, Master Chief's suspicions were correct. His teammates had indeed been killed, and their bodies were lying in the morgue beneath the base. James and the captain had known all along, and they were aware that the Covenant might be planning an attack on Reach. The Alliance's higher-ups were also aware, yet they remained indifferent. Although humanity's technology is powerful, it remains weak in the face of the Covenant. James speculated that the higher-ups might have already started evacuating in secret, not making it public to avoid widespread panic. Meanwhile, the escaped Master Chief sought out the Admiral again. Although the squad didn't find the enemy at the relay station, Master Chief still noticed signs of a battle. He speculated that the Covenant's vanguard had already reached the outskirts of Reach. Hearing this news, the Admiral was surprised. She advised Master Chief to find a place to hide while she tried to communicate with the higher-ups. After leaving the tavern, Master Chief found the female soldier from before. She handed him a headset containing a Covenant audio transmission she had intercepted earlier. When she first returned to the base, she decrypted and reported it, but the higher-ups had no reaction. Hearing the conversation in the headset, Master Chief became more certain of his suspicions. He put down the headset and intended to return to the base, but before he could stand, the church roof was bombed. When Master Chief and the female soldier opened their eyes, the city was ablaze, and the streets were filled with fleeing civilians. Seeing the residential area being bombarded, the female soldier thought of her family. She wanted to go back and check on them, but Master Chief stopped her, knowing the area had become a wasteland and returning would be pointless. As the enemy's bombardment continued, Reach's energy system collapsed, plunging the entire city into darkness. Master Chief carefully observed his surroundings and noticed something strange. The Alliance's base headquarters was on Reach, protected by a specialized defense force, yet only a few scattered soldiers were seen fighting back on the streets, while the main forces were nowhere to be found. Even more bizarre was the absence of the Spartan squad, which should have been the first to respond had the headquarters already fallen. Master Chief hurriedly led the female soldier toward the command center. Without their armor, the Spartans were no different from regular soldiers. They passed through the bombarded area and arrived at a commercial district that hadn't yet been hit. The fleeing civilians had gathered in this area. At that moment, the female soldier heard a whistling sound in the distance. Looking up, she saw a Covenant warship high in the sky. The female soldier shouted for everyone to take cover, but before she could finish, the Covenant's attack struck suddenly. In the chaos, Master Chief and the female soldier ran to another block, which had just been bombed by the Covenant, leaving the streets filled with rubble. Then, Master Chief heard a noise coming from a corner. They turned around and saw an elderly woman holding a weapon, staring at them. It turned out that the woman was the owner of an antique shop, and her store had been hit in the recent bombardment, but she was reluctant to leave behind the antiques she had brought from Earth. Thinking that Master Chief and the female soldier were there to loot, Master Chief advised the woman to evacuate quickly, explaining that the bombardment was just the first wave of the Covenant's attack. According to the audio, their ground forces would arrive soon. However, the woman refused to leave, unwilling to abandon her antiques. The female soldier was about to persuade her, but Master Chief pulled her away, saying they had no right to interfere with anyone's decisions. Just then, gunfire erupted from the street. Master Chief looked out to see a squad engaging the Covenant's vanguard, but their weapons couldn't reach the enemies in the sky. In the crowd, Master Chief spotted a member of the Spartan squad, who shared some unfortunate news. The Covenant had not only cut off Reach's energy system but also severed communications. The soldiers in the city were split into small squads, making it impossible to organize an effective defense. Hearing Riz's words, Master Chief realized that they couldn't continue fighting chaotically. He gathered all the soldiers in the squad and ordered them to move toward the headquarters, believing that only by finding the main forces could they establish a defensive line. The others agreed, and under Master Chief's leadership, the squad abandoned the street and moved into the residential area. The base was not far away, and they could reach the headquarters by crossing this district. However, the group was unaware that the Covenant had already prepared an ambush, with soldiers blocking all the routes to the headquarters. As soon as anyone approached, the soldiers would launch an all-out assault. Seeing the growing number of enemies in the hallway, Master Chief had no choice but to retreat with the group, but there were also many enemies outside. After a difficult battle to break through, the Covenant soldiers emerged again. The Covenant had set up cannons in the streets, unleashing full firepower on the nearby district. To buy time for the group, a soldier rushed forward, detonating the explosives on his body and taking the enemy down with him. Though it was heartbreaking, there was no time to dwell on it. Master Chief quickly led the surviving group toward the headquarters. Meanwhile, Dr. Catherine Halsey, who was imprisoned, encountered the captured Soren. Once a superior, Catherine still held Soren in high regard, believing that if he hadn't left the Spartan squad back then, he would now hold a high-ranking position. But Soren was unimpressed by Dr. Halsey. Just as they were talking, the Covenant's vanguard launched an attack on the base, cutting off the power and causing the surrounding environment to vanish. It turned out that the prison was a virtual cell, with all the visuals simulated by VR. Realizing that there were no guards outside the prison, Catherine immediately suspected that the Covenant had launched a large-scale invasion of Reach. As the two pondered what to do, Catherine noticed several bodies not far away. Soren recognized them as the work of Covenant soldiers, identified by their energy swords, which cauterized wounds instantly. It was clear that Covenant soldiers had already been to the prison. The situation looked grim. Just then, Catherine encountered Cortana. Hearing Cortana's warning, Catherine was about to flee, but May-Key had already arrived with several soldiers in tow. The keystone that Master Chief had retrieved was stored in this area, but after searching the area, May-Key couldn't find the keystone. As the Covenant soldiers charged forward, Soren remained unfazed, casually tossing out a grenade. Admiring Soren's bravery, Catherine wanted him to rejoin the Spartans and fight the Covenant together. There's no way Soren, accustomed to freedom, would agree. He's still thinking about his wife and child back on Rubble. After many twists and turns, Master Chief finally managed to return to the base with the few survivors. However, the situation at the base was also chaotic. It was only from a soldier that he learned the higher-ups had long been aware of the Covenant's plan to attack Reach. Yet, instead of preparing a defense, they were busy sealing off information. Behind the scenes, the elites had already moved their assets. As soon as the war began, they fled on ships. Master Chief wanted to go and change into his armor, but a soldier stopped him. After hearing the soldier's explanation, Master Chief realized everything. No wonder he had been suppressed at every turn. The higher-ups had never intended to defend Reach. In the crowd, Master Chief saw Captain still dutifully at his post. It was because of the Captain's leadership that the base hadn't fallen immediately. Seeing Master Chief return, the Captain's face showed a trace of resignation. He told Master Chief that the Covenant was currently attacking the base's energy systems. If the energy was cut off, Reach's orbital defenses would fail. At that point, the Covenant fleet could use long-range weapons to glass Reach. Their immediate priority was to secure the energy systems. As long as the orbital systems were intact, Reach could survive. The Captain instructed Master Chief to take the remaining soldiers and defend the nearby fortress. Without hesitation, Master Chief gathered everyone and headed straight for the fortress. After a round of shelling, the ruins fell silent. Everyone was puzzled by the empty surroundings. Had the Covenant retreated? But suddenly, a strange tremor came from the dust. Seeing the flood of brutes charging at them, Master Chief didn't hesitate. After an initial barrage, the first wave of brutes was taken down. However, Master Chief didn't realize that the attack on the fortress was just a diversion. The Covenant's real target was the base headquarters. While they were holding off the enemy, the Covenant forces had already reached the headquarters. Soren, waiting on the rooftop for evacuation, smelled something foul in the air. When he turned around, he saw Covenant soldiers appearing from the side. With most of the soldiers gone with Master Chief, only a few were left at the evacuation point, barely maintaining order. There was no way they could fend off the enemy's attack. The Covenant soldiers quickly overran the area. Realizing the situation was dire, the Captain prepared to launch the last evacuation ship, but the fuel line hadn't been disconnected, preventing the ship from taking off. The Captain had no choice but to charge out amidst the gunfire. But just as he was about to disconnect the pump, Covenant soldiers surrounded him. Facing the nearby enemies, the Captain remained calm. He cut the line and ignited the fuel depot. Master Chief, having received the news, returned with his team immediately. Upon arrival, he spotted Catherine and Soren. Just as they were about to greet each other, Covenant soldiers stormed in, forcing Master Chief to lead the group in a counterattack. Though Master Chief and the other team members fought fiercely, they were overwhelmed by the sheer number of enemies. The humans in the base were quickly wiped out. And Master Chief was knocked to the ground by a soldier. Just as the soldier was about to finish him off, Makey suddenly appeared. Seeing his fallen comrades, Master Chief wanted to fight back, but with no ability to move, he was dragged away, leaving Reach to face its final blow. With relentless attacks, the headquarters fortress also fell, and the Covenant took control, cutting off the planet's orbital defense system. Without the protection of the orbital defense, the Covenant fleet advanced unchallenged, and the countdown to Reach's destruction began. Seeing that the situation was hopeless, Soren knew they couldn't stay any longer. He searched for a ship to evacuate the survivors. But just then, a Covenant soldier wielding a massive hammer appeared on the battlefield. With one swing, the soldier smashed the cover they were hiding behind. Master Chief fired back, but the bullets were useless. At that moment, a transport ship suddenly appeared, raining fire on the soldier until he was taken down. Soren looked up to see that the pilot was none other than his wife, Lara. He quickly led the others toward the ship, but as they reached the ship, Riz suddenly turned back. She lifted the fallen comrade, for a Spartan never leaves a teammate behind. As Riz carried the comrade back, a shell came flying toward them. Fortunately, Riz was close to the ship, and they managed to pull her on board just in time. As the ship took off, the Covenant fleet unleashed beams of destruction. Watching Reach being glassed, everyone's hearts were heavy. As humanity's most important stronghold, Reach's fall in such a manner was something Master Chief couldn't accept, yet he was powerless to stop it. When Master Chief opened his eyes again, they had left Reach. With Dr. Catherine Halsey tending to his wounds, Master Chief was in relatively good shape, having regained his mobility after treatment, but Riz was severely injured and required surgery. Soren wasted no time and brought the group to a nearby colony. After settling Master Chief and the others, Soren and Lara went to find their son. It turned out Soren had been captured because of a betrayal by his first mate. The traitor not only coveted Soren's wealth but also had designs on Lara. Fortunately, Lara was quick-witted, instructing Kwana to take their son and escape while she distracted the pursuers. However, Kwana quietly returned to save her, resulting in mother and son being separated. At the time, their son Kessler had boarded a ship headed for this planet. After leaving the hospital, Soren and Lara arrived at a bar, which served as an information hub on the planet. They learned from an old man that a few days ago, a ship landed with a child who matched the description, and the boy was taken in by a couple since his parents couldn't be found. Soren and Lara immediately rushed to the couple's home, but when they found the child, Soren realized it wasn't his son. It turned out that Kessler, hungry on the ship, had traded his helmet with this boy in exchange for some food. Realizing his son wasn't there, Soren felt a pang of disappointment. However, Lara sensed something was off. She recalled how the old man at the bar provided the information so smoothly, as if he had known they would come. With this in mind, Lara suddenly realized something. She returned to the bar. She grabbed an iron rod and, after some persuasion, got the truth out of him. It turned out that just before they arrived, Kessler had been taken by military personnel. Determined to rescue their son, Soren decided to head to the military's new base. Master Chief also prepared to go with them, but Riz hesitated. Severely injured, Riz could no longer fight, and the military's betrayal had left her disillusioned. She decided to stay on the planet and live in seclusion. Hearing Riz's decision, Master Chief couldn't accept it. He believed that a Spartan warrior should fight to the end. Seeing that persuasion was useless, Master Chief stopped insisting. He planned to go to humanity's new headquarters to seek justice for the fallen Spartans, but Master Chief didn't know that the higher-ups didn't care about him at all. The Spartan squad had been reorganized, and the new Master Chief was none other than Kai. James had planned to recruit 1 million soldiers to train a Spartan army. However, training Spartan warriors was not as simple as James had imagined. To accelerate the development of the new recruits, James used simulated training equipment, having Kai lead them in daily battles in a virtual world. But the difficulty of the virtual training was no joke. Although they all came from military backgrounds, the intense coordination required in combat wasn't something they could master overnight. Each time they failed, Kai blamed the lack of teamwork. However, her conclusions drew mockery from Talia, a soldier who had fought alongside Master Chief. Talia knew that, besides teamwork, the Spartans' combat effectiveness also relied heavily on individual prowess. Every Spartan warrior had exceptional solo capabilities. These were the result of years of experience, and the simulator was just a tool. Moreover, Talia harbored a strong bias against Kai, seeing her as a deserter who had abandoned Reach. Yet Kai was unaware of what had happened during the Battle of Reach. Meanwhile, Admiral had been reinstated and faced James's proposal. Although the Admiral doubted the likelihood of success, she still agreed to let James build a stronger army to fill the Spartan void. The Admiral reminded James that 19 hours ago, an unregistered ship had entered the planet, and only one person could bypass the planetary defense systems. Catherine. The Admiral urged James to keep an eye on Master Chief, who was likely with them and wouldn't rest until he had his justice. As the Admiral predicted, the ship was indeed piloted by Dr. Catherine Halsey, with Master Chief and the others aboard. At that moment, they were staring in awe at the base in the distance. The new facility was even more advanced and complete than Reach. It was clear that the higher-ups had started building it long ago, but what was strange was that neither Master Chief nor any other officers had received any information. The existence of the base made Master Chief realize that the military had deliberately abandoned Reach. The team split into two groups. Soren and Lara went to find their son, while Master Chief planned to confront James. However, not long after they parted ways, Master Chief was spotted by patrolling soldiers. He intended to resist but was caught off guard by an ambush in the forest. Eventually, Master Chief was taken into the base by a fully armed squad, but such restraints couldn't hold him. He had allowed himself to be captured, and with a powerful tug, he took down all the surrounding soldiers. Kai, who was training, immediately received the alert. James ordered her to bring Master Chief back and blamed him for the fall of Reach, accusing him of colluding with the Covenant to cause the base's downfall. Hearing James's words, Kai found it hard to believe that Master Chief would do such a thing, but James then declassified a secret document, which contained information about the keystone both sides had fought over earlier. James claimed that Master Chief's infiltration was to steal the keystone, and although Kai instinctively believed Master Chief wouldn't betray humanity, she couldn't disobey James's orders. Meanwhile, Mei-Qi, having returned to the Covenant without the other keystone, faced scrutiny. Despite her efforts to explain that the keystone had been moved in advance, the Covenant leadership grew suspicious of her. As Mei-Qi pondered her next move, Cortana appeared. This was the same Cortana that Mei-Qi had brought back from Reach. She had been trying to reactivate the keystone, but despite countless attempts, she failed. Eventually realizing that the issue was with Master Chief, only by both of them touching it together could it be activated. Cortana offered to help Mei-Qi, but she needed access to the Covenant's transmission array. Though Mei-Qi knew that connecting Cortana could expose the Covenant, she was out of options. At the same time, Kai found Master Chief in the archives. Master Chief wanted her to take him to James, to ask why the squad had been abandoned. But by this point, Kai no longer trusted Master Chief, and the two began to fight. No matter how hard Kai struck, Master Chief refused to fight back. As she was about to kill him, even Kai, as dense as she was, began to understand the situation. Instead of killing Master Chief, she left him there. While they were fighting, Cortana contacted the Admiral, informing her that she had accessed the Covenant systems and obtained their location and data. This was all part of the Admiral's counterattack plan, but the Admiral was unaware that Cortana had also found Master Chief. Cortana told Master Chief that he must find the keystone before the Covenant did, but Master Chief had no idea where the keystone had been taken. Cortana urged Master Chief to listen to her as the hatch opened. Following Cortana's guidance, Master Chief arrived at the warehouse. Meanwhile, the Covenant leaders discovered that Mei-Qi had embedded Cortana into their system. To protect Mei-Qi, an elite warrior even attempted to kill the Prophet. During the struggle, the keystone emitted a glow, signaling its activation. At the same time, Master Chief approached. When they both touched it, they were transported once again to the interior of the Halo Ring. In this serene environment of lush mountains and birdsong, Mei-Qi revealed her purpose to Master Chief. The Halo was not some ancient weapon but a seed of life. They were the chosen ones. Mei-Qi wanted to use the Halo to create a civilization greater than both the Covenant and humanity. However, Master Chief told her it was impossible. Humans and the Covenant could never coexist in peace. Whoever gained control of the Halo would immediately seek to destroy the other side. At that moment, several spectral figures appeared behind Mei-Qi, forcing them both out of the Halo. When Mei-Qi turned around, she saw the Prophet rushing toward her. In a panic, she ran into a nearby passage, but the Prophet was determined not to let her escape. Fortunately, Cortana appeared just in time. Since accessing the Covenant system, Cortana had been reading their data at lightning speed. Not only did she know the Prophet's identity, but she also knew about his many misdeeds. With Cortana's assistance, Mei-Qi successfully eliminated the Prophet. However, the activation of the keystone also revealed the location of the Halo, and the Covenant immediately locked onto the coordinates, sending a massive fleet. The Admiral received the coordinates from Cortana and noticed that the Covenant fleet was gathering. Realizing that the Halo had appeared, the Admiral ordered James to deploy the entire 3rd Spartan squad. This battle would decide the fate of human civilization. It could only end in victory. Upon receiving the order, James promptly dispatched the fleet, and the battle between the two forces began. Meanwhile, deep within the base, Dr. Catherine Halsey and Quanah found Miranda. Miranda's team was studying an ancient gateway, and it was through Miranda that Quanah learned that this place was the remains of a civilization called the Forerunners, a civilization far more advanced than humanity. But for some unknown reason, the Forerunners had suddenly vanished. Human civilization was closely linked to the Forerunners. It could even be said that human civilization inherited the Forerunners' legacy. Yet despite years of research, Miranda had never been able to open the ruins. As Quanah looked at the patterns on the ruins, she felt a strange sense of familiarity. It seemed she had seen similar patterns on cave paintings before. Quanah tried to remove a stone from the pattern, and suddenly a starry sky projection appeared around them. It turned out that opening the ruins required completing the starry coordinates. Using the patterns from the cave, Quanah placed the glowing stones in their corresponding positions. With a click, the door to the ruins slowly opened, and Catherine eagerly entered. However, the environment inside was disappointing. It seemed to be just a laboratory filled with various experimental tools. Just then, Catherine discovered a curled-up figure in the corner. Judging by the clothes, this person seemed to be a lab worker who had apparently encountered something terrifying before death. In the figure's hand, Catherine found a rectangular metal object. Thinking it was a data storage device, she casually took it, but the next second, the lab began to shake violently. Seeing this, The three quickly left the lab. As they made their way out, the lights beneath the corridor illuminated a vast city slowly emerging before them. Catherine then realized that this wasn't just a laboratory, she wanted to study it, hoping to uncover more about the Forerunner civilization, but Miranda noticed something eerie. The star map outside the cave was flickering, and a large red curtain of light appeared on the screen. Catherine thought it was a message left by the Forerunners, but little did they know it was a warning of extinction. Meanwhile, the battle between humans and the Covenant had begun, with the first Spartan squad engaging the Covenant. Despite being equipped with Spartan armor, the disparity in strength was still enormous. The first squad had barely arrived on the battlefield before being completely wiped out by the Covenant. The Admiral ordered James to send the second and third squads as well, which puzzled James. The Spartan squad was a special forces unit, not suited for large-scale battles like this. Doing so seemed like a senseless sacrifice, but the Admiral offered no explanation, only insisting he carry out the orders. Suspicious, James quietly went to the training room to investigate the weapons the Admiral had issued to the soldiers. It turned out the soldiers were using not magnetic weapons but a type of virus disguised as a weapon to cripple the Covenant ships. This virus would disrupt control systems, causing engines to explode. If even one ship's engine was infected, the explosion could trigger a chain reaction, destroying the entire fleet and possibly even the entire star system. Seeing the results, James finally understood the Admiral's true intention. She planned to take down the Covenant with minimal cost, destroying the Halo in the process. Furious at the truth, James decided to confront the Admiral, but as soon as he stepped out the door, he was blocked by Master Chief and Kai. James explained everything. The order to abandon Reach had come from the Admiral, reasoning that humanity stood no chance against the Covenant. Head-on confrontation offered no hope for survival. James also revealed what was happening on the front lines. While Master Chief understood the rationale behind the higher-ups' actions, he couldn't accept the abandonment. But now was not the time to dwell on it. All the Spartan squads had been deployed. If the Covenant secured the Halo, human civilization would be doomed. Though he hated the Admiral's methods, Master Chief had to admit that this was the most straightforward and brutal way to preserve humanity. He donned his armor, determined to fight alongside the Spartan squads. In the corridor, Master Chief encountered Talia, who was preparing to depart. They exchanged a smile before boarding their respective ships. After some turbulence, the human fleet quickly arrived at the battlefield. The entire area was in chaos, with battles raging everywhere. The humans were clearly outmatched by the Covenant. One squad was completely wiped out by the Covenant before even entering the battlefield. Master Chief also noticed the Halo in the sky. Instead of joining the battle, he headed straight for the Halo's location, but just as he arrived, he saw Kai and her team's ship get hit. He couldn't stand by and watch his comrades fight alone. Master Chief changed course and plunged into the battle. While the human fleet and the Covenant fleet were clashing, Miranda was also studying the artifact brought back from the ruins. She initially thought it was some kind of data storage device, but after closer inspection, Miranda was horrified to discover that it actually contained an ancient type of spore. The spores quickly revived upon contact with air and began to reproduce rapidly, but Miranda had not yet realized how dangerous these spores were. These were parasitic viruses that, once infected, would turn living beings into terrifying creatures. The Red Plague's history could be traced back to ancient times. It was said that there was once a godlike civilization in the universe called the Precursors, who lived alongside the Forerunners. Due to conflicts over resources and race, the two civilizations went to war, with the Forerunners eventually driving the Precursors out of the galaxy. The Precursors created the Red Plague, spreading this virus across the galaxy. The downfall of the Forerunners was directly related to this virus, but Miranda was unaware of this history. As the container was opened, the spores began to spread. One worker quickly showed signs of infection and stabbed a colleague to death. Although the crazed worker was subdued in time, the spores had already begun spreading through the air, infecting everyone nearby. The situation on the battlefield wasn't any better. The Spartan squads sent in the initial wave were completely wiped out. Even Kai's team was trapped, unable to break through. Just as Talia was losing hope, Master Chief burst through the crowd, taking out the Covenant soldiers, blocking the way in just a few moves. After reuniting with the others, Master Chief instructed Talia to evacuate the wounded soldiers first. He then led the remaining soldiers in an assault on the Covenant's warship. After another fierce battle, Master Chief successfully reached Meiki's ship, but Meiki had already evacuated. He only found Cortana, damaged and lying on the ground. Master Chief thought Cortana had also been lost, but just as he was about to leave, Cortana's voice rang out again. It turned out that before being destroyed, she had transferred her system into the Covenant's network. With Master Chief's assistance, Cortana transferred her system into his armor. Meanwhile, the ship began to plummet toward the Halo. Cortana took control of the armor and managed to get Master Chief out just before the ship crashed. Seeing that the human fleet was on the verge of being wiped out, Kai refused to accept defeat. She piloted her damaged ship and rammed it into the Covenant's command ship. A blinding flash followed, and the Covenant's command ship was shattered into pieces. Without their commander, the Covenant forces quickly fell into disarray. The Admiral seized the opportunity and ordered the human fleet to launch an all-out attack. But just as she gave the order, one of the commanders suddenly went berserk. He tackled a nearby colleague, and before anyone could figure out what was happening, several other commanders also began mutating. Sensing something was wrong, Catherine quickly fled the scene, but the unlucky Admiral was torn to shreds on the spot. Miranda immediately realized what was going on and sealed off all the labs, hoping to contain the spores. However, Catherine seemed excited and even wanted to study the spores. When Miranda looked closer, she realized that Catherine had also been infected. She activated a stasis pod, freezing Catherine inside, but the spores spread far faster than Miranda had anticipated. As the mutated spores spread through the base via the air vents, Soren and his wife, who were searching for their son, were also attacked by the infected creatures. The two of them, along with their son and Quan Ah, fought their way out, but at the exit, Soren's wife locked herself inside. It turned out she had been infected as well, and to avoid burdening Soren, she made the ultimate sacrifice. Soon, the entire base fell, and Soren, along with a few survivors including James, managed to escape on a ship. Meanwhile, Master Chief, who had been unconscious, woke up on an empty field. He had reached the interior of the Halo. It looked exactly like the dream, a place full of life and greenery. Following Cortana's guidance, Master Chief found Mei-Ki in front of a structure, with the Covenant soldier nearby. Without exchanging words, they started fighting. Although Master Chief was equipped with his armor, he was still no match for the elite warrior. After only a few blows, the elite pinned him down and mercilessly thrashed him. Seeing the elite gloating, Master Chief suddenly grabbed him and slammed him to the ground. The unlucky elite howled in pain. Master Chief raised his energy sword and delivered a fatal blow. While they were fighting, Mei-Ki also activated the ruins ahead, causing the entire Halo to tremble. Massive structures emerged from the ground, resembling some kind of weapon. Mei-Ki told Master Chief that she planned to use the Halo to create a stronger civilization. As for humanity and the Covenant, she intended to erase them completely. Only by eliminating both sides could the war finally end. Master Chief quickly pursued her, but as soon as he entered, everything went dark. In the void, a strange voice echoed. It introduced itself as the Monitor, an AI created by the Forerunner civilization. The Monitor's task was to guide Master Chief to meet someone, but who was guiding Master Chief? And could the Halo truly bring peace to the universe?